Night at Oriole Park at Camden Yards on Floppy Hat Night. The Orioles welcome in the Los Angeles Angels tonight. It's the opening game of a three-game weekend series. And hi, everybody. I'm Jim Hunter. Thanks for joining us as the Orioles, for the first time this year, will go head-to-head with the Los Angeles Angels, contenders from the AL West. And the Orioles starting pitching certainly has gone through a tough stretch. But the last time through the rotation, they're beginning to show signs of turning it around. And it all began last Saturday night when ALFREDO Simon went to the mound against Cleveland. Simon went 7 innings in that game. He allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. Then Jeremy Guthrie against the Red Sox, 7 innings, 2 runs on 8 hits. And Jake Arrieta, even though it was in a loss, he also went 7 innings, 3 runs on 9 hits. You have to go all the way back to May, the last time 3 starters, 1 turn through the rotation went at least 7 innings. And Jim, as the Angels come to town, this might be a good time for the Orioles pitching to be getting better like that, because this Angels team, shall we say, they're offensively challenged.
Well, they are. Yeah, you know, they don't score a lot of runs, but what they do is pitch better than the amount of runs they score. So that translates into wins. So you can see again. I mean, they're averaging about 3.82, lowest since 1992. They sacrifice a lot, but at the end of the day, only the Oakland A's in the American League and pitch better than them. So again, they haven't hit very well in the month of July. They're only hitting 226. But at the end of the day, you better compete with your pitching. And if we look at last year when the Orioles turned their season around, what did they do? They pitched better than the teams they played. Hopefully that'll be the case against the Angels.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting roster when you look at the Angels, because they have veteran players in there with track records, but they are not hitting for power. In fact, if you look at the comparison, the Orioles have a clear edge in the power numbers coming into the series.
Yeah, the Orioles have not had any problems hitting home runs. And again, the Angels came out here about 2 o'clock and had extra batting. They said they can't believe how the ball's carrying here. Well, you can see they're going to be on the road. You can see again, even though their ERA is at about 2.69 against the American League East, when you play 3 of the best 4 offensive teams, even if you pitch well, you just can't. You got to score runs. So for the Orioles, it's very simple. Just play very well, Jim. And again, the good news we saw all over the last 3 or 4 starts is something they're going to have to do against this ball club.
And there's certainly a difference in the styles of these teams. The Orioles really do play station to station when they get on base, but the Angels, they're certainly different because they like to get on and create some chaos.
Well, Mike Socia says we are what we are. We don't drive the ball very well, not that we wouldn't like to, but he said what we do, he said we run the bases like demons. We go from first to third, second to home. They're 5th tied with Tampa Bay for stolen bases. And at the end of the day, again, they're a very good defensive ball club because of their excellent speed, and that translates into defense. So, again, we're going to get to see their center fielder, 19-year-old Mike Trout. So, again, they're a ball club that would like to have Kendry Morales. They've missed him over the last 2 years, and he was their big home run guy.
All right, all the players are in the same situation, but tell us about playing in the suppressive heat where it will be over 100 degrees at first pitch.
Well, if you play for the Orioles, you're conditioned to this. If you're the Angels, they played an afternoon game. They ended up winning. Jared Weaver won his 13th game. It was 90 degrees, but there wasn't a whole lot of humidity. So when they come east, and again, we saw last year the Orioles were 6-0 against the Angels. This is a whole different ball game for them.
Well, it's Floppy Hat Night here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Always a fan favorite, the camouflage version. It's the first against the Angels. Lineups and first pitch are coming up next. Orioles Baseball on MASN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Well, the opening game of a 3-game series against the Angels on this very hot July the 22nd here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. And the game time temperature brought to you by Train. Visit Train.com for an independent Train specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a Train. 101 degrees. It was 107 out here this afternoon. 40% humidity, and that heat index makes it feels like 110 at first pitch. So the Angels come to town for the first time this year. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Angels: MAICER, IZTURIS, TORII Hunter, and Bobby Abreu, with Vernon Wells in that cleanup spot. In his career against the Orioles, 301, 32 home runs, and 106 RBIs, of course, all those years in Toronto. Then Alberto Callaspo, ERICK AYBAR, Mark TRUMBO at first, Mike Trout in center, and the catcher Jeff Mathis will bat ninth.
And take a look at our AFCIA scouting report on ALFREDO Simon, who turned 30 in May. Friendly yard, he's 6-2 here at Camden Yards. Not as well on the road. Vast arsenal. Again, he's got all kinds of pitches, different arm angles. And then in the park, only 2 home runs in his 33 innings. And again, tonight's scouting report is brought to you by AFCIA. Visit AFCIA.org, the Association for IT Pros. And I hope he's in shape. Well, the one number that you looked, I mean, it is warm, and you do acclimate yourself. If you have any kind of sense at all, and the Orioles do a pretty good job of this, they do their conditioning on the field. And, you know, they have a great, they have a great facility underneath the ballpark. But if you're going to play in Baltimore, this is what conditioning's all about if you play for the Orioles, or really any team in the East.
So Simone will get the start in the opener, as the Orioles coming off their day off yesterday, a much needed day off to freshen up a little bit. And Simone, who worked last Saturday against Cleveland, will go against MAICER IZTURIS, Cesar's brother. Cesar, good report today as he continues to work his way back towards the Orioles. And rehabbing now in the minor leagues. And Simone deals, and we're underway, and there's a strike. MAICER IZTURIS, a switch hitter in that leadoff spot, now 30 years old. And in his 8th season, he's had a real nice career as mostly a utility guy for the Angels. And Simone misses down and in.
Yeah, he can play all over for Mike Socia. And, you know, Howie Kendrick, who was their lone all-star other than Jared Weaver, he gets at least early on, the evening off. And IZTURIS can come right in and take his place, can play shortstop.
There's a bouncer towards second. Blake Davis charges to play the hop. And an easy first out, so IZTURIS retired, one away in the Angels' first.
Take a look at our Nissan defense for the Orioles. P.A., Jones, Markakis, that's the outfield. Reynolds, Hardy. You already saw Blake Davis at second base. Derek Lee doing the catching over at first base, and then Matt WIETERS, the Orioles all-star. And, of course, this is Nissan's bottom line sales event, and we're laying it all on the line. Choose Nissan.com or your local Nissan dealer today.
And here is TORII Hunter, who looks somewhat strange in that number 2 spot. Usually a little bit lower in the lineup to take advantage of his run potential. But in that number 2 spot behind IZTURIS. And he is really scuffling at the moment. He is 1 for his last 25.
Yeah, and that 1 was a home run in a game where they came back. They came back from an 8-3 deficit. Really turned their season around. That happened on Wednesday night against the Rangers. But again, he's the type of hitter. He turned 36, and he cheats a little bit. You know, bat speed maybe a little bit lower, so you get into these hitters counts. You can look at the last 7 games. They've only scored 21 runs in the second half of the season.
2-1 is too tight. Ball 3. As TORII Hunter had to lean out of the way of that one.
Well, ALFREDO was so good against the Indians that, first of all, he shut them down, and they were taking advantage of some weak Oriole pitching, and then he got the first 9 outs on 30 pitches. A lot of strikes, a lot of quality strikes, and again, he's got good stuff. Big question for him is, can he command it? And I mean, because he's got a fastball, he can throw anywhere from 91 to 95. He's got a splitter, he's got a curveball, he's got a slider. Every once in a while, he'll give you a different arm angle. So again, the key is for him to get ahead and then pitch out of the zone, and he's got the stuff to be able to do that.
Well, he threw only 79 pitches total over his 7 innings against the Indians. Just a fabulous outing. The 3-2, he got him. Can't catch up to the fastball, so TORII Hunter is down on strikes. There's number 1 for ALFREDO, and 2 away in the Angels' first.
Yeah, TORII Hunter will say, you know, I had my 1 pitch to hit. It was 3-1, and because when you're struggling, you foul that pitch back, and that's exactly what he did.
Simone making his 10th appearance. It's his 3rd start. As a starter, his numbers are very good in the brief timers. Bobby Abreu, the veteran. He is DHing. And there's a pitch taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. Abreu now 37 years old out of Venezuela. He has had some kind of career.
Well, he can make you throw strikes. A couple of years ago, 680 at bats, took the first pitch 635 times. I said, "Do you always do it?" He said, "I really did that." He's just a very deliberate guy, and you know, this year home runs are a little bit more difficult. He's hit 1 on a 1-0 count, 1 on a 3-0 count.
Weak fly ball to left, moving it out at his PA. Felix waits, and he'll put it away, and 3 up, 3 down go the Angels. Good start for Alfredo Simone. Angels don't score. Here come the Birds in the bottom of the first. Matt Wieters once again in that cleanup spot. Derek Lee will bat 5th. He has good numbers in his career against the Angels. Luke Scott off the DH. He'll DH at bat 6th. Then Mark Reynolds, Felix PA, and Blake Davis at second base will bat 9th.
NRC scouting reporting, well, misleading record, 4-8. I mean, he's had 6 straight quality starts, 3 runs or less. They don't get him any runs. Why me? 3.38. That's the 11th lowest. And again, not Carlos Santana, not for the Indians, not the guitarist. He is ERVIN Santana, and he can pitch. But the only thing, you know, you look at all the numbers, Jim, the only thing that really jumps out yet, you can steal bases. 19 out of 20. Yeah. That and the home run ball. He's given up 17 home runs. I mean, not that many, but enough.
There's a strike taken by J.J. Hardy, 2-1 the count.
Because I've had a chance, you know, to watch him pitch some games out in Anaheim, and you know, he's got a good fastball, he's got a slider, he's got a good changeup, he's even got a curveball.
Hardy to right center field. He got a lot of it. On the run is Trout. He'll get there. And TORII Hunter cuts in front of the center fielder, and he grabs it for the out. How about that one away?
Well, 19 years old versus 36. There is the Nissan defense. You got 3 Gold Gloves in left. You got a young 19-year-old guy in center that can fly. And then you got, 9 straight Gold Gloves over in right field. Diaspo, AYBAR, IZTURIS, TRUMBO. He leads the American League rookies in home runs with 18. And then you got Jeff Mathis, who's a catch and throw guy, Still trying to get to the Mendoza line behind home plate.
All right, but what about that rule that the center fielder gets anything he gets to? Does TORII forget he's not playing center field anymore?
Well, see, I understand that Mike Trout is from New Jersey, your home state. But
I just wondered when you were going to let me slip that in.
Now, the ball slices away from the center
field.
field.
Still smiling at him. Yeah, I cut in front of you. All right, rookie, I'll show you.
Well, yeah, they won 1-0 yesterday, and Trout made a great play in a 1-0 game that the Angels won in right center field. Very similar, but it wasn't in the air as long. You see, I think either one of those guys could have easily caught that ball. So you defer to the Gold Glover.
Well, this outfield, they sure can go get him. You got 3 center fielders in the outfield for the Angels. Here's the 0-2 to MARKAKIS, and he fouls it off to stay alive. So ERVIN SANTANA, 28 years old. He has all kinds of experience for that young age. It's his 194th major league game, and since he signed with the Angels when he was 17, he also had 93 minor league games. And the 0-2 down in the way, a ball and 2 strikes on MARKAKIS.
I mean, he's 80 and 30, 63. I mean, with a relatively low ERA, even though at 4.33, but he's had a roller coaster career. He had one in his last 6 starts on the road. A lot of that has to do with the fact they just don't score a lot of runs for him.
MARKAKIS fouls it off Mathis to stay alive.
But then again, they don't score a lot of runs for Dan Herron or Jared Weaver, who has 13 wins. The difference is, as good as Santana's ERA is at 3.84, Weaver's is 2 runs lower. Weaver's is 2 run lower. He leads the American League at 1.81.
Santana 3-4 in his career against the Orioles. 1-2 on MARKAKIS, and a bouncer towards third, charging Callaspo, and from the grass will throw out MARKAKIS for the second out. Alberto Callaspo making the play. Well, Adam Jones coming to bat in the number 3 spot. Pretty good homestand. He's 8 out of 26. 3 of those 8 Jim home runs.
Yeah, well, he's Adam Jones. That's the way I look at it. He's matured, fifth year in the big leagues. And again, when he stays healthy, he's going to get his 600 at bats. He's 3 home runs from his high of 19. His average this year, started out a lot of home runs in April. Low batting average, really good May, even though he's hitting close to a little bit over 200.
And takes a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1.
So you got Santana already up to 95. And again, 4-8 doesn't mean one thing. It just means that they haven't supported him well. I was talking to Mark Gubicza, a former Major League pitcher who does their color on TV. He said the one thing that Santana, other than the stolen bases, 19 out of 20, does not field his position well. So we'll see if that plays into tonight's game.
Fly ball to right. Torii Hunter turned the wrong way. Now he comes back to it, and he has it for the out. And ERVIN SANTANA has a 3-up, 3-down inning. So the Orioles go in order. We'll head to the second at Camden Yards. No score. Every double play the Orioles turn during the game tonight, Donald wins $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery. And now you can enter 2 great scratch-offs for a chance to win. To see how you can turn non-winning double play or Amazing 8s scratch-offs into cash or Amazing Orioles prizes, go to mdlottery.com/double play. Vernon Wells leads off. Simone deals high with a fastball 1-0. Callaspo and Aybar for the Angels in the second. Vernon Wells in his first season with the Angels, longtime Toronto Blue Jay. And 12 years with the Jays, and now he's with the Angels.
Yeah, they just take one of his average years. You know, he was hurt early, groin pull. A little bit like Carl Crawford of the Red Sox. Real slow start.
High fly to center field. Adam Jones back. He'll get there. And he puts it away for the first out. So Vernon Wells retired. He's now 3 for his last 27.
Yeah, just tried to go out and got a ball up in the zone, but I tried to pull it. And even though the ball is carrying well and has carried well here, if you can hit it to the power alleys, it's going to fly.
Simone has retired 4 in a row to begin the game. He's looking for his 3rd win. Here's Alberto Callaspo, a switch hitting third baseman. And down and in 1-0. Simone as a starter 1-1 3.86. As a reliever also 1-1. ERA a little higher at 4.64. And both of his wins this year, he's 2-2. They've come here at Camden Yards, including his victory last Saturday over the Indians. There's a bouncer off the glove towards the middle. Davis gets there, throws off balance, the bounce, and he got him. Blake Davis covering a lot of ground, and Derek Lee helps him out on the other end.
Well, again, the deflection is going to slow the ball down. So Simone at about 6'4", 6'5", knocks it down. Here comes Blake Davis. And again, this is a guy that they called to the big leagues, had not played in the infield at all. Former shortstop, 19 career games in the minor leagues at second base. He's really worked hard. And you go back to that Boston game that the Orioles won, it all started in the first inning with Guthrie on the mound. He turned a hot shot off of the bat of Adrian Gonzalez into a double play, and Guthrie was off to the races.
So 2 down. And here is Eric Aybar, and he hits it towards right field. Markakis is over. He won't get it and plays it on a hop. So there's the game's first hit and base runner as Eric Aybar singles with 2 men down.
Well, he can steal some bases. It'll be very interesting with 2 outs and a home run hitter at the plate, or at least coming to the plate. But again, I mean, this is kind of an information pitch. You want to try to be as efficient as you can. And right there, he throws him a strike. But the one thing about Aybar, he's one of their hottest hitters. So you got to be careful. And now with 20 steals, only been caught twice. I would think, as Mike Scioscia said, we run like demons. This could be a demonic moment.
Here's Mark Trumbo. And drawing a throw is Aybar. Aybar 8th in the league in steals with those 20 Jim told you about. He's got those young legs, just 27. And here's Mark Trumbo, a nice story. Born in Anaheim and drafted by his home 2004 in the 18th round. He was a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
And he does have 18 home runs, and he can hit. I mean, he is a big kid. I asked Mickey Hatcher, their hitting instructor, I said, how do you turn guys like that, 18th round guys, into home run hitters? He said, well, we really monitor at the minor league level what kind of at-bats they have. In other words, are they quality at-bats? I mean, who are they facing? What are the counts? Are the guys some of the better pitches? Are they hitting cripples? In other words, how would it translate? We talk about this all the time. There's the Mick. How would it translate if you move up from AA to AAA and then to the big leagues? And he was getting high grades.
Oh, one pitch is hit to left field. It hangs for PA, and he'll put it away for the final out of the second. So base hit and a man left. Mid-second at Oriole Park on a hot summer's night. No score. 877-241 Luna. Well, hit leaders in July in the American League, and Nick Markakis with 22 base hits on the list. So Markakis certainly turning his season around. He is tied for 5th overall in the American League with his 114 base hits. As we look in from behind the Angels bullpen on this hot summer's night. And here's Matt Wieters. And he swings through it, 0-1. Wieters, Lee, and Scott against Ervin Santana, not Carlos, in the second. So you're telling me he doesn't play the guitar either, right?
Well, I don't know. I didn't know. No, I learned that Bernie Williams played it.
Wieters rips it to right, but right at TORII Hunter. So a hard out and one away here in the second inning.
Yeah, actually, Hunter, who won all the Gold Gloves, 9 in a row, he moved when they came to Baltimore last year. Peter Borges, who will be back in the lineup, hamstring out now, another fleet center fielder for him. And he did it with a lot of class. Thought it would help the team. And it did.
1 out, none on for Derek Lee, who takes a strike. Derek's got a 5-game hitting streak working, 7 out of 20 in that streak. Home run at 5 ribbies. And it takes another strike, and it's quickly 0-2. So Santana's throwing strikes early on. He averages almost 8 strikeouts for every 9 innings he works.
Yeah, and his pitch count, I mean, it's the lowest of his career at 15.5. So again, you look at 4 and 8. You look at a low ERA, not a lot of run support. And again, you really, and of course, his ERA is about the league average now. Maybe a couple of points lower than that. That's how far run productions come down. 2011 season, especially even the American League with the DH. Not that much of a difference. Used to be about a half a run difference between the American League with the DH and the National League. It's not that significant anymore.
Well, Showalter looking on with John Russell. 1-2 to Lee is outside, and 2-2. Well, the Angels have 37 wins from their starters. And their starters ERA is 3.38, second best, or third best in the American League. They're overall second best in pitching. And a high fly ball to right. TORII Hunter's been busy. And this will be the 4th putout already for Hunter. And 2 down in the second inning. Well, Luke Scott activated before the game from the disabled list, still has the shoulder issues. And he talked about it. Well, he's back for the moment. So Luke Scott back in the lineup. Asked him about his 2-home run night last night at AA Bowie. And he said, well, I got to be honest. He said it was a fastball that did nothing right out over the plate. It was a slider that didn't slide, kind of spun right into my bat, and I hit 2 out.
And then he hit a double. Drove in 6, scored 3. Scored on a short sacrifice fly. He did a little play-by-play of that. Short.
He's got that speed working for him.
Well, he has really worked hard to rehab that torn labrum in his front shoulder. That's his right shoulder, his throwing shoulder. He said he's going to give it 3, 4, 5 days. Got a cortisone shot, I think, a week ago Friday. And see, and again, that front shoulder, yeah, it gets you to the baseball.
There's a bouncer towards the middle, knocked down by MAICER IZTURIS, and he won't have a play. So Luke Scott is on with 2 men down.
Yeah, they could score this easy. A base hit, we'll see. It's not a real difficult play, but because you have to backhand it, and anytime you get a short hop and the ball comes up and it hits you in the heel right there of the glove, it's one of the more difficult plays for an infielder. He really, you want to keep that from being an error. Circle the ball, catch it in front of you. Scott will beat it out, even though he doesn't have great speed, and then you don't get an error. I mean, that's the only way you can play that. And if you make it, it's fine. If you don't, it's an error.
And it's his 6th error on the year. Gives the Orioles a 2-out base runner. Here's Mark Reynolds. So you get a home run threat up there now with the man on. And Santana gets ahead 0-1, pitching from the stretch for the first time tonight. So Luke Scott, in his first game since July the 3rd, gets on base on an error. That Angle was optioned back to AAA prior to the game today to make room for Luke. foul tip held on to by Mathis. 0-2. Well, most home runs with a new team this year. Reynolds trailing only Lance Berkman of the Cardinals, who has 26. Adrian Beltre 20 in Texas. Carlos Pena has 20 with the Cubs, and then Ugla and Gonzalez each with 17. And a high fly ball, towering fly ball to shallow left. Moving in on it is Vernon Wells, and he gets there and he puts it away for the out. So the 2-out error doesn't hurt. Pitchers in command on a lovely night in the harbor. No score. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Well, 100 degrees in Baltimore today, and let's look out at the bullpens there. You see the misters that the Orioles have in the Orioles bullpen. It looks like they may have put one in the Angels bullpen, but it's not turned on.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks like the same thing, doesn't it? But the Orioles guys, they're smart. They have their mister on.
Well, you're going to be here 3 games if you're the Angels. You got to acclimate yourself in a hurry. You don't want to come out of the misters into the heat on the mound.
Hard hit ball towards the hole, off the glove of Hardy. That's a base hit for Mike Trout. So the 19-year-old gets on with a leadoff single. The Orioles and the Angels continue this 3-game weekend series tomorrow night at Camden Yards, 7:05 first pitch. So come on out and enjoy a summer Saturday night at the ballpark that forever changed baseball. For tickets, 888-848-BIRD or get online, Orioles.com.
Well, nobody's ever going to accuse the Angels of not developing young players. Trout, as you mentioned, is 19. He's their #1 draft choice. Tyler Chatwood's 21. He'll pitch on Sunday. Trumbo's leading all rookies in home runs. He's their top, 9th guy. Jordan Walden's got 23 saves. He's their closer. And Hank Condra just got sent down because they want him to catch every day at AAA because he's probably going to be a switch hitting #1 catcher in the big leagues. Yeah, they have a $140 million payroll. So they're doing a little bit of both, veteran players and trying to acclimate their young guys into the mix.
Mathis squares the bunt and he hits a foul. They are 4th in the American League in sacrifices, so Mike Scioscia plays the small ball as well.
Well, this is also a dose of reality. Jeff Mathis is catching because he can call a good game. They were about 9 games over 500 when he catches. He's hitting 188. He's hitting 143 with runners in scoring position, and they want to stay out of a double play. And they have a guy that has thrown the heck out of the ball in Santana. So play for 1 run.
Squares again, gets it down. It's a good one. Simone on it quickly, thinks about second, but instead takes the sure out at first and 1 down.
Well, there is no faster right-handed hitter in the major leagues than Mike Trout at second base. He got down at the first base the other night at 3.82 seconds. That is as quick as it's going to get. Nolan Reimold in talking to the scouts, is the second quickest guy from home to first that they've seen all year long, just a little over 4 seconds, but 3.82 is incredible time.
He will turn 20 on August the 7th. So drafted just 2 years ago. And that's amazing. 2 years ago in June he was graduating high school, and now he's in the big leagues. MAICER IZTURIS now off speed pitch outside, 1-0.
Yeah, played in low A and high A last year, and then came up from double A this year.
250 games total of minor league experience, and playing tonight in his 10th game in the big leagues. IZTURIS grounded out his first at bat, first time a runner's been at second base in this game. And Simone misses outside for ball 2. There's not much difference lefties versus righties with Simone, and as Jim mentioned earlier, it's really a brief sampling because he only had pitched 33 innings coming into the game tonight.
Yeah, you look at most pitchers and their swing and miss is around 18-19%. ALFREDO's at 31.4%, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's got the great split finger when that is working, because that's the pitch. You know, he throws hard enough, but that splitter it looks like a fastball and dives out of the zone.
2-1 is in there for a strike, 2-2, so he came back to get the count even.
But the things that, you know, Jim, we've seen him ever since he came up with the Orioles, 2009, the Tommy John, and he's always had, again, one of our keys was a vast arsenal. But again, how do you translate to, can you hold runners? Can you field your position? The things that starting pitching have to do. How's your endurance? Can you throw 110 pitches and still have some left?
Fly ball to left. PA will get there. And near the corner, he has it for the out. Trout played it halfway. He'll get back to second base. A big out for Simone. And 2 away in the Angel third inning.
And that's what the Angels are going to do. I mean, ALFREDO is pretty aware of base runners. I mean, they've only attempted 3 steals, only been caught 1. It also helps to have the best throwing catcher behind home plate, in Matt WIETERS. So again, he showed the Orioles, again, if he can stay healthy, he's got the stuff and hopefully the command to be a starting pitcher. And that's part of the equation, the command. Can you throw those quality pitches, stay out of the middle of the plate?
Torii Hunter now, who struck out his first at bat. And Simone misses outside, 1-0.
Yeah, Torii's hitting about 18 points higher. You can see there, that's his runners in scoring numbers with 2 out. But totally 253. And again, just as you mentioned, a very slow start here in the second half. In fact, the whole Angel team, with the exception of that Wednesday night game in Anaheim where they got 6th in the 6th. Other than that, they've been really struggling for runs. But you know how you change it? Get a hit here. Now, you know the Orioles don't want that to happen, but
there's a strike on the inside corner. Looked like he fooled Torii Hunter in 2-1.
Well, the famed backup slider, kind of in vogue now. You know, you got the cutter, you got the splitter, but you throw a slider right at the front hip of a right-handed hitter and try to catch that inside corner. And then he drops down. He really changes his arm angles. So that's fine as long as you can throw strikes. If you remember Dennis Martinez, who won over 245 games, he would do that early in his career, and then he would lose his arm slot. Earl Weaver used to drive Earl crazy. The minute he would do that, he'd run out and he'd sprint to the mound. I mean, imagine Earl Weaver sprinting, but he'd get out there as quickly as he could and said, don't ever do that again.
And the foul ball straight down at the plate.
So again, fastball count. What does he throw? A little bit of a slider. It wasn't a great pitch, but just to change his speeds, get Torii Hunter to swing through it. So if you do it 3-1, he'll throw anything here 3-2, and that's makes it difficult for any hitter.
Mike Trout at second with 2 down. He singled, moved up on the sacrifice bunt. And the 3-2 to Hunter overthrows, and it's high ball 4 and a 2-out walk. And Simone issues his first walk. And that'll get Bobby Abreu up with Trout at second and Hunter at first. Bobby Abreu signed with the Astros out of Venezuela at the age of 16. He and Melvin Mora were both signed into the Astros organization at about the same time. And fans may remember when Tampa Bay came into the league, he was selected by the Rays in the expansion draft. However, the same day they turned around and traded him to the Phillies. And I would think all those years later, that's probably a trade they regretted, because they got a shortstop, Kevin Stocker, from the Phillies, who ended up not helping them at all. And Abreu went to Philadelphia and began to compile Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah, and you look at the notes. He's 2 RBIs away of tying Roberto Clemente. And he's already 89th in runs scored. Again, a great on-base percentage guy. He passed Dawson, Gwynn, and DiMaggio. Pretty good name.
You think?
He's also tied 26th all-time. He tied with Tony Gwynn for doubles with 543.
Simone falls behind 1-0. And that's outside. Now,
and he knows what he wants to hit. And even though the power we talked about, he's only got 3 home runs, 1 on a 3-0 pitch, 1 on a 2-strike pitch, and 1 on a 1-0 count. He can still hit with runners in scoring position. He has a very good idea of what he's trying to do. In other words, he doesn't get himself out.
And he takes strike 2 and 1.
See, that's why when he throws a splitter in a fastball count, he just takes it. He does not mind hitting with 2 strikes.
Well, he's got 8 100 RBI seasons in his prior 15 years in the big leagues, now in his 16th. His 3rd season with the Angels. 2 on, 2 out, 2 and 1 on Abreu. And fooled by that pitch, it looked like 2 and 2, kind of waved at it.
Yep, well, he did. That was another splitter. The other thing is he's been able to show up and play. He has 150 or more games now for 13 consecutive years, and that ties another name that we know, Willie Mays.
The say hey kid.
Yep.
2 and 2 on Abreu. Simone trying to get out of it. 2 on and 2 down. And he got him. A big strikeout for Simone as Abreu goes down, and the Angels strand 2. A hit, a walk, but the strikeout ends the inning for Simone. Dodge Charger, with its iconic 4-door fastback coupe design, efficient power, technology, and execution, the all-new 2011 Dodge Charger was built with the young at heart and passionate performance driver in mind. Visit your local Dodge dealer to learn more and schedule a test drive. You'll be glad you did. That is a slick-looking car, that Dodge Red. You could see Jim Palmer cruising around downtown Baltimore, one of those.
Oh.
PA leads off, and ground ball weakly at the second. There's IZTURIS. And on 1 pitch, 1 down in the Oriole 3rd.
Awfully good stuff from both of these guys tonight. Throwing strikes For Santana again, boy, you look at the 4 and 8. You check the box scores because I mean, this is a kid, as you mentioned, only 28. He's won 16 twice, 17 last year. Of course, last year he won 17 games. He won 17 and 10, but they scored him over 5 runs a game. I mean, they're almost a run and a half lower this year for him.
Blake Davis takes 2 tight, 1-0. Davis in the number 9 spot. Buck Showalter has every available left-handed batter in the lineup tonight. His bench is Andino, Reimold, and Craig Tatum, the other catcher. There's Buck with Jim Presley. Sharply hit foul down the right field line.
Saying, Press, come on, Press, what are we going to do? It's early. You got to come up with some game plan. The game plan might not be for these 2 teams. Do you get a hit early in the inning? Do you get a double? Do you move the runner over? Do you get a clutch hit?
High fly ball to right field. TORII Hunter again. And he puts it away. That's already the 5th ball hit to Hunter, and 2 away in the 3rd inning. Tonight's AL League leaders brought to you by Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. Action-packed table games and red-hot slots await at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. Earned run average in the American League, Oakland at 3.15, and then the Angels second at 3.36. Orioles at 4.84 continue last in the American League in team ERA. 2 quick outs, and here's J.J. Hardy, who takes a strike.
Well, again, you got a catch and throw guy, and how do you get J.J. Hardy out? If you can command your pitches, breaking balls. Try to stay away from the heater. So that's back-to-back curveballs. He took a curveball or a slider and hit it into right center his first time up. And again, good pitching teams. What's the difference? Well, they stay out of the middle of the plate. If you know a guy's a good fastball hitter, doesn't mean you don't throw it to him. You just try to stay out of the middle, and then you make your pitches.
Now let's pull towards third, backhanded by Callaspo, and he'll flip it across to get Hardy, and the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down. Settling in here in a pitcher's duel, we'll head to the 4th. No score. Season with the opening of the Natty Boh Bar at Camden Yards. The all-new Natty Boh Bar features early bird specials before every home game and gives fans a huge hangout spot all summer long. Plus, the legendary beer will be on draft here and at select locations throughout the ballpark, and even on the menu with the Natty Boh Brat, a bratwurst sandwich featuring Baltimore's own Roma sausage infused with the taste of national Bohemian beer. So stop by the Natty Boh Bar and enjoy all of the all-new Baltimore-inspired products here at Camden Yards during your next visit to Oriole Park.
Is that where you and Depper hang out after you do your opening?
No. There's a base at the center field. Vernon Wells is on.
Why not?
With a leadoff
single. My next question. No?
Wouldn't be professional.
I don't mean drink. Just eat.
Gotta watch the game.
Don't they know they have television? Yeah, Denver could sell some ties. Maybe not on a night like tonight.
Right, yeah, a little warm for the ties. Floppy hat night here. Hey, wait a minute. He's not 21. Came for the hat, stayed for the game.
Let's see, 21 and over?
Yeah.
So I guess they'll be sending some hats up.
Absolutely. So you can wear it on your yacht.
But you had them on the other night, though. So.
No. Demper had it on. I wouldn't.
Oh, that's right. Well, we couldn't tell whether you had it on because it's a camouflage hat. Matches your shirt and your hair.
Yes.
Nice looking hair, though, by the way. I'm not trying to demean your hair.
You know, for a humid night, it's not a bad hair night. High pop of foul. Reynolds over, hoping for a play. And it's out of play. Well, military appreciation ceremony before the game today as Jim Johnson was out on the field representing the Orioles players. And they got a real nice round of applause, and deservedly so. There's all the fans in attendance, a standing ovation recognizing the wonderful job our military does for us so that we can come here and play baseball. So thank you to all of the fine men and women around the world protecting our safety and our freedom. 0-2 on Callaspo. There's a liner to center field. That'll fall for a base hit. Throw to second, not in time, as Adam Jones tried to deke Vernon Wells and then fired in. It skipped past Davis, but Simone was backing up.
Well, you wonder about the heat. It's certainly not the pitch count, only 45. So what about maybe almost 13, 14 an inning, but high breaking ball to Wells. He hit it into center field. And then he gets ahead of Alberto Callaspo and he hangs a splitter. He pings it into center field. The difficulty for any starting pitcher, and this is the difference between relieving and starting, is what happens your second and third time through the order. Can you pitch? You know, they're going to adjust. Can you pitch to different parts of the plate? Can you pitch up or down? And so far, both of these pitches to the two hitters have been right in the middle of the plate.
And with 2 on and none out, Aybar showing bunt, and he takes ball 1. Well, Mike Scioscia playing for early runs in the 4th. He did sacrifice last inning, and the Angels left 2 men on. Now they have 2 on with none out.
Well, and again, because you have speed at the plate, you have speed at second and speed at first, puts a lot of pressure on your defense. And you don't know he's bunting here, but if they give you an out here, take it.
Swings away right to Davis and nowhere else to throw.
Good base running. Again, we didn't know if he's bunting because just the way the game is played. But again, if your base runners are dozing off, watch Callaspo and again Lee up, because if he's back, they probably get a double play. But he's protecting for the bunt. So you fake. I mean, it's good managing in a sense, because you bring him in by faking a bunt on the first pitch, and then your infield's back. They can't turn the double play. But it's not a good omen for Alfredo Simone. They've hit 3 balls hard, first 3 batters here in the 4th inning. But again, the good news is with your kind of stuff, you got a young hitter, big strong guy that can hit home runs, but he also strikes out a lot, doesn't walk a lot. You're 1 pitch away from a double play ball if you make a good pitch. And that wasn't one. That was a hanger.
Trumbo fouls it back, 0-1.
Well, that's a 3-run home run type of slider.
Trumbo flat out to left to end the 2nd inning. Simone's had just 1 3-up, 3-down inning. That was in the 1st. Angels have left 3 on already, and they have 2 men on with 1 down in the 4th. And foul may have gotten a piece of the shin guard of Matt Wieters. It's 0-2.
Yeah, Mark Trumbo, again, tremendous strength. Loves the ball out over the plate, but the numbers that, again, you know, the strikeouts, the lack of walks, and again, only 18 and 320 at bats, and then runners in scoring position numbers, only 15 for 75. So a chance for Alfredo to get another out.
And a bouncer right back to Simone. He drops the ball and has to get it to first, and no, it's safe at first base. He nonchalanted the throw, and hustling down the line was Trumbo. So not only is it not an inning-ending double play, he doesn't even get an out.
Well, I was talking about the fact, you know he's got good stuff. Can he throw enough strikes? Can he command it? can he field his position? I mean, perfect double play ball. And then, you know, again, part of the deal is when you catch a ball. Now watch him throw into the side of the rubber. And again, it's just steers it. I still think he may be out. But again, if you're Mark Trumbo, if you don't run hard, and this is a trademark of Mike Scioscia's ball club, you still throw him out.
So it could have ended the inning. Instead, bases loaded, one down, and here is Mike Trout. The 19-year-old rookie singled his first at bat. And a pop foul back this way, and it's 0-1. Vernon Wells at third, Alberto Callaspo at second, and Mark Trumbo on at first. So on the error by Simone, the Angels get an extra out and an extra base run.
They get 2 extra outs in the sense because that's a sure double play ball. All you have to do is catch it. All you have to do is get your hands together, crow hop, hit your shortstop or second baseman, and the inning's over.
Oh, one is outside, 1-1.
And I have no idea where this arm angle has come from. Alfredo, I mean, his arm angle has dropped maybe 6 to 8 inches. Now, maybe that is on purpose, but we'll see.
Staying from the stretch with the bases loaded. And a foul straight back. It's 1-2 on Trout. Willie Randolph and Buck Showalter on the Orioles bench discussing the infield positioning. Saw Willie point to Mark Reynolds at third, who now has moved back a step. You want to cut off the run, but if you get a double play, the inning ends.
Well, yeah, but again, this is the fastest hitter in the American League out of the right side of the batter's box. Double play will not be easy unless it's one of those tailor-made up the middle.
1-2 pitch is popped up. Infield fly rule will be called. Blake Davis waits, and he has it for the out, and a big second out for Alfredo Simone. So Mike Trout can't get the run in. Bases loaded, 2 down. Fans, on Sunday, your kids can live out their big league dreams, as all fans 14 and under are invited to run the bases after the game at 1:35 against the Angels. So gather up your family and create some new Birdland memories here at Camden Yards. Get your tickets in advance and save 888-848-BIRD, or if you prefer, Orioles.com. There's a youngster with his glove. He's waiting for a foul ball. Here's Jeff Mathis, the number 9 batter. The 6th batter to come up here in the 4th inning. The error by Simone extending the inning. And it's high, 1-0. Alfredo has struck out 2. He has walked 1.
Well, this is the guy you need to get out. And again, they've already sacrificed with a runner at first, just because, again, you look at the numbers. 188 batting average, that's gone down. 143 with runners in scoring position.
Derek Lee short hops it. He'll go to the base unassisted, and Simone gets out of a big jam his error helped create. 2 hits and error, 3 left. Mid-4th, no score. Windows, switch to Fios, a network ahead. To learn more, visit Fios.com/GetFios. 1923, Walter Johnson became the first Major League pitcher to strike out 3,000 batters. 1967, the Braves set a new Major League record by using 5 pitchers in 1 inning. That had to have been a messy scorecard. Then in 1983, Brian Downing of the Angels has an American League record aerial streak end at 244 consecutive games. All on other July 22nd. A scoreless game as the Angels have now left 6 on in their first 4 at-bats. Here's Markakis, and he takes a strike. Markakis, Jones, WIETERS against Santana, who has not yet allowed a hit. The one base runner, Luke Scott, reached on an error by IZTURIS in the 2nd inning. And a bloop to left field, moving in on it, Vernon Wells, and he'll get there. And 1 away in the Oriole 4th.
Yeah, the Orioles only get 2 hits on Wednesday afternoon, and the Angels only get 2 hits yesterday. The difference was the Orioles lost 4-0, and the Angels won 1-0. Well, not a lot of hits, and of course Santana getting everything over.
Adam Jones flied out his first at bat. 7 fly ball outs so far in this game.
Well, he tends to throw more, not maybe this dramatic, but more, he is a fly ball pitcher.
He's had 7 flyouts and 3 groundouts, no strikeouts so far.
And he came in with 161 ground balls, 167 fly balls, so not significant.
Fastball gets Adams' attention. Fans, head over to Facebook.com/Masson Orioles right now and enter for your chance to win one of 30 Orioles autographed items that Masson is giving away all month long. And there's a bounce at 3rd. Cayaspo is there. And 2 quick outs. Well, Matt WIETERS coming up. Certainly an all-around catcher. Here's the comparison, Jim, between the 2 catchers in this game.
Well, really, I mean, obviously, Jeff Mathis came through the minor leagues, did hit some home runs at their AAA affiliate, but Matt WIETERS, former #1 draft choice, pretty much panning out. I think most, at least what everybody, at least in Baltimore, expected. Hitting from this side of the plate, left-handed, it's still a work in progress. His home run ratio much better hitting right-handed this year. So is the average.
Takes a strike at the knees, 0-1.
But again, Gary Tuck, who is the bullpen coach with the Red Sox, one of the better instructors, said it's just it's unbelievable, I suppose, that how good Matt WIETERS has gotten in a matter of 3 years. The difference when he came up 2 years ago, year before last. I don't think MAICER, who was a #1 draft choice in an important part of the Dodgers organization, won't recognize that. He already knows that.
WIETERS a good cut, fouls it back, 1-2.
Well, it's just one of it's funny when you get a catcher like Matt WIETERS that can catch and throw and is going to be a good hitter and hitting close to 400 runners in scoring position. It's just one of the big variables you've now controlled in your organization.
2 outs, none on. The 1-2 to WIETERS is high, and 2-2.
And with the struggles of Vladimir Guerrero, of course, the Angels know how good a player he is, but he's now 36. When you rest Matt, you can DH him, especially when you have Guerrero on the disabled list with a broken bone in his right hand.
Two pitch is swept to first. Right there is Trumbo, and he'll go to the bag unassisted, and another 3-up, 3-down inning. So the pitchers are in charge. We'll head to the 5th. No score. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Nissan, it's Nissan's bottom line sales event, and we're laying it all on the line. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer today. The retired numbers on the concourse. And as we peek in now from center field on this hot night.
It's all right as long as they retire the numbers, not the people.
Well, your number 22 is safe, and so are you. And there's a strike taken by MAICER IZTURIS. Leading off here in the Angels' fifth in this scoreless game. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, see, the one thing about ALFREDO, he's a big guy. I mean, 6'5", 240, 250. But every once in a while, we talked about how he drops his arm. He'll really fly open with that front side. That glove will just spin out. And when he stays through and down towards the hitter, boy, his stuff is extra special. That's where he gets in trouble. He just kind of opens up, drops his arm. They see the ball a little bit. That's what got the first two guys on last inning, and then the splitter stays up. Otherwise, it'll just go down in the zone.
They're 1-2 the count. Hunter and Abreu will follow. So the third time through the lineup. And he just did get a piece.
Yeah, MAICER only 7 for his last 52. So again, went 7 games, 21 runs, 6 of those in 1 inning. And one of the reasons the Angels are struggling for runs in the second half. They lost 3 out of 4 up in Oakland. Lost the first one against the Rangers in Anaheim, and then came back and won the last 2.
I think that slipped.
Well, the one thing about tonight, I mean, what, 102 at game time, but the humidity seemed like it was a lot worse on Monday after the rainstorm went through and the Red Sox were in town.
Yeah, that really got steamy after that. From 0-2 to 2-2 on IZTURIS. Sharply hit to Lee at first. He'll play the hop, go to the bag unassisted. And 1 down in the 5th inning. Oriole Park's next fireworks night is set for Friday, August 5th after the Orioles take on the Blue Jays at 7:05. Stay around after the game and enjoy the beautiful fireworks display that will light up the birdland skies. Get your tickets in advance and save. Just call 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. The Angels have had 6 base runners in this game. And they have left all 6 on. They have 4 hits. There's been 1 walk. And TRUMBO reached on an error. The Orioles have had just 1 base runner. Luke Scott reaching on an error in the second. And a strike in the inside corner. Good pitch. Well, Simone thinks it's a good pitch.
Yeah.
TORII Hunter staring down at the plate.
Well, a lot of times hitters, the way they judge the inside part of the plate is where their hands are. Anything inside of that's a ball. Wade Boggs, who's in the Hall of Fame, most likely we'll see him on Sunday at the induction. I said, how do you take pitches inside? He said, well, anything inside my hand's a ball. So that's their guideline. That's why Tori's looking down. He said, boy, I thought I kind of knew the inside. Angel Hernandez is the only guy that matters there. See, again, what happens is when you spin open, everything gets flat. You can see these. That was a slider. Everything, again, out of your hand, they see it. So if you throw that pitch and it hovers in the hitting zone, all of a sudden TORII Hunter, he's been cold, he'll get hot.
3-1 on Hunter, 1 out, none on. And a good vicious cut, but he fouled it off.
Well, got away with another high slider.
TORII Hunter now 36 years old. Our Dodge Ram Exmo brought to you by Ram Trucks, designed, tested, and proven to be the best trucks we've ever built. Ram. And a vicious cut there by TORII Hunter. This is only the third batter that Simone has gone to a 3-ball countdown. Hunter does own the only walk against Simone in this game. That was his last at bat. And it hit him. Would have been ball 4 anyway. Another one of those curveballs that slipped out of his hand.
Yeah, well, again, when you get a little bit tired, and I mean, when you start at 102, and don't think that Rick Adair and Buck Showalter, the respective pitching coaches and manager of the Orioles, aren't aware. It's just another slider, and you can see right there TORII trying to do what you're supposed to do, duck that shoulder in, try to get the hands and the arms out of the way. But again, a lot of spinners.
So another base runner. Hunter on with 1 down. There's Bobby Abreu, who's 0 for 2. He struck out his last at bat.
Yeah, 3-2 slider up and away.
Fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. A lot of curious looks by the Angels hitters on some of these strike calls.
Well, you know, it's funny. Probably 5-6 years ago, when they had the test at the Quest Tech, Angel Hernandez was sitting across from me, and I was flying down to Florida, and he said, "Boy, I get graded on calling balls over the plate." Well, they've changed that Quest Tech. The strike zone gotten a little bit wider, and that's one of the reasons, in my opinion, why the hitting is down. It's a wider plate this year. That, and has anybody ever tested the ball to see if it's not as live as last year? You know, it's funny, when home runs go up, everybody, hey, test the ball. When home runs go down, nobody says, hey, do you think maybe the ball's deader than last year? Think about that. Not too long, but just ponder that.
I pondered before the game.
That's right. We were pondering.
We were pondering. It was a group ponder. 0-2 on Abreu. You know, then there's, you know, here's a enlightening thought. Why don't you just call the strike like it's in the rule book? I mean, that might be a good way to go.
Yeah, but somebody would have to make you accountable to do that.
0-2 on Abreu. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know paragraph in the rule book, because I don't know of one current umpire that calls that strike zone. And that's nothing against Angel Hernandez, just how it is.
Well, all umpires have different strike zones. We know that. The rule book says what, from the top of the knees to just below the letters?
Another 0-2 is just outside. Wow. How do you take that pitch?
Well, you know the strike zone, and then you hope that Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire, is going to agree with you. I mean, this ball is almost on the chalk line of the...
Yep. Wieters moved the glove.
Yep. Oh, it definitely did.
So a good call there. Abreu got the call, 1-2. And that one's outside. Another breaking ball that misses, 2-2. So the breaking pitch has been very inconsistent for Simone.
Arm angle. If you don't stay behind your pitches, it's very hard to get on top of the breaking ball. Everything has to be thrown. Splitter, fastball, slider, curveball. So when you fly open, now that can be fatigue, that can be just, you know, the fact that he did have to go back to the Dominican Republic for the trial for the legal problems he had. And it is very hot here.
Down and in, ball 3. So here's Abreu again. He was 0-2, and he's worked the count full.
Well, every indication it has that Simone's run out of gas. Last inning, this inning.
Rick Adair with his chart and his stopwatch.
But again, the part of the deal is that if you're going to become a starter, you're going to have to pitch under these conditions, and you're going to be able to have to, what did Buck Showalter say? Suck it up. You know, we have to play better as a team. We have to pitch better as a team. This is one of those moments. Because you know Abreu is looking for a ball in the inside half and try to drive. Look at the target. They're going to try to go down and away.
Torii Hunter draws another throw. He dives back in. He likely will be running here.
Oh, most definitely.
Another 3-2 pitch in this game. Hunter runs, swing and a miss. Wieters throw to second is high. Hardy the tag, and he got him. A strikeout, throw-out, double play ends it. Tremendous hands by J.J. Hardy, went up and got it and slapped down the tag. So the strikeout of Abreu and the tag on Torii Hunter ends the inning. Hit batsman, none left, mid-fifth, no score. Just won $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery double play contest on the strikeout throwout double play. And no scores. We go to the bottom of the fifth, and welcome back to our broadcast booth. Jim Hunter with Jim Palmer. It's Palmer's kind of a game, a pitcher's duel as the pitcher's in control. Well, Simone not as sharp as Santana, but the result is no score.
Santana's in control. Simone's hanging on. And, you know, of course, their bullpen is the third best in the American League. The Orioles is the 12th. They had a play yesterday, even though they went to their eighth inning guy, and then Walden, their closer. So it's going to be a bullpen game for the Orioles. And you just hope, again, with a day's rest, Kevin Gregg is back. So you're at full strength out there. And, you know, so Simone's, if he hangs around another inning, I'd be very surprised. And right now he looks like a heavyweight in about the 10th of a 12-round fight. But, again, a very hot night here. But, again, he made a great pitch, and then Wieters picked him up with not a great throw, but Hardy with the double play.
Derek Lee will lead off, and he takes a strike. Luke Scott and then Mark Reynolds in the Oriole fifth. And I guess first things first for the Orioles, they'd like to get their first hit in the game before they then think about trying to get to Santana for a run. They've had just one base runner, Luke Scott, reaching on the error in the second inning. And there's a ball slapped to right field. Torii Hunter on the run, and he reaches up and makes the catch. He takes two bases away from Derek Lee at a minimum, and one down.
Well, you're awfully demanding asking for a base hit, especially when you got a 9-time Gold Glover out there. Ball going away from him, different angles when you play right field, even though he moved out there when Borges came up last year. So a terrific play. Again, in a 0-0 ball game.
So Luke Scott now, as Derek Lee is denied. And he swings through it, and it's 0-1. Talking to Luke before the game, you see him grimacing, and he says that the biggest problem with this tear is it is costing him bat speed.
Well, it's his front shoulder, and that's the hitters. I mean, Terry Crowley, now a consultant, great hitter in his own right, hitting instructor, used to say it's very simple. The bat head is point A, the ball is point B. How do we get from point A to point B? You need a quick swing, you need to barrel the ball up, and again, when your front shoulder allows you to do that, you'll see a lot of hitters. Jim Presley coming along, and he's done a great job here with helping Mark Reynolds. But again, how quickly you can get it depends on that lead shoulder, and when your arm doesn't feel well, and it's not like it's a great deal of pain. I mean, every time you're in the Oriole training room, you see Luke Scott working on his strength. It's just that you can't quite get to the ball quite as quick. And again, when it takes about 0.4 of a second to recognize the pitch and make up, I mean, there's a difference between getting the pitches that you didn't get to last year.
Buck Showalter is hoping that he'll be able to play the rest of the year through this. 1-2 is low. Good eye there, and it's 2-2. But really, you're looking at three scenarios. Butt gets looped the rest of the year, and he plays through it. He decides, I can't do it. I'm not helping the team. I got to have surgery. Or he decides, I can't do it. I'm going to take the Jason Birkin route, and I'm going to rehab it, which means 3 months of doing nothing. Then the rehab begins. Foul back this way, and before the game, Luke Scott was talking about he is back, but just for the moment.
I'm not going to stay up here the rest of the year and just kind of linger and not be able to help the team the way way I should. So if it is what it is and I can't compete at this level at this time, then I got to make a tough decision, and one of them is either surgery or do the rehab and try and get myself ready for the next year.
2-2 pitch is pulled foul down the line. Just missed an extra base hit.
Yeah, Mark Trumbo playing the line because again, they don't put the straight shift on. They do bring the shortstop behind, almost behind second base, but not all the way over. And he hit it so sharply.
And it looks like he's hurting. Taking an extra step before he gets back in. And 2-2 with one out and none on. And he got him. And Luke Scott goes down on strikes. That is the first strikeout for Santana, and 2 away, and Luke walking very slowly back to the bench.
Well, they pitched him perfectly. Breaking balls, let him pull them foul, and then just one and up and out of the strike zone. All he had to do was watch Jared Weaver with 13 wins and the lowest ERA do that yesterday. Add a little bit, subtract, make good pitches down, elevate the ball. I mean, if you're a young pitcher and you get to see Jared Weaver pitch and Dan Herron, boy, those guys are textbook.
Mark Reynolds takes ball one. 9 in a row retired by Santana since Scott reached on the air in the second. And foul back, he had a good cut. Luke Scott walking slowly on the bench. The good news is he didn't go look for a trainer. Off speed.
Well, when you get a slap tear in your labrum, that means it's kind of moving around, getting in the joint. As good as Richie Bancells, Brian Ebel are, they can only do it during, before the game. Already got the injections twice. He's done everything you can to try to get through this. And then you get a guy like Santana locating and throwing 94, 95 and pitching away from his strength, which is down in the zone.
One and two on Reynolds. And a ground ball towards short. Backhanded there by AYBAR. The throw across. In time, he got him. And the Orioles go 3 up and 3 down. A scorching hot night here at Oriole Park. Free ice in the concourse. And the line is long as the fans getting some relief from the Orioles. The ushers providing that free ice on a hot and steamy night at Camden Yards. Crespo batting in the second. He hits a bouncer off the glove of Simone. Blake Davis gets it out behind the bag and then spins and fires a bounce throw to first that Derek Lee handles for the out. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. There's Simone out there for the 6th inning. He's only had one 3-up, 3-down inning. That was in the first. Orioles got a double play on the strikeout throwout, double play to end the 5th. And first ball swinging is Vernon Wells, and he pops it up behind the plate. Matt Wieters waits. And on one pitch, one down in the 6th inning. And Alfredo says, "Thank you very much, Mr. Wells." So here's an update on the weather. All the way down to 98 degrees as we play in the 6th inning. That humidity is at 40%, so the heat index feels like it's 102. And the bullpen guys, well, they feel pretty good out there, Jim. They got the misters going.
That's what they do out in Arizona. You walk down the street, they have misters. Not every street, but a lot of streets.
I remember one year playing out there in the Interleague against the Diamondbacks, and they had them at the hotel on all the walkways.
I grew up in Scottsdale and moved from California, where it was temperate climes, ocean breezes. First day I moved there, it was 112 degrees.
Welcome to Arizona.
Yep.
Ground ball foul off the bat of Callaspo.
But as they like to say,
it's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat. You picked your bike down, it would sink into the blacktop about 2 inches. Second degree. Well, if you ever hit the steering wheel when you were old enough to drive, you'd have second degree burns on your hands.
Well, 40% humidity for this time of year is not very high.
No.
And but I mean, it was 107 today, so 107 is 107. I don't care if it's dry, whatever. There's a bouncer to Blake Davis. He'll get it to first, and 2 down here in the 6th inning. Time now for our Suzuki Game Flow, Auto's all-wheel drive lineup. Suzuki, the power of engineering. Well, the flow of this game is about the pitchers. ERVIN Santana has been very stingy, has not allowed a hit nor a walk, only 1 base run on an error. And Alfredo Simone has been wiggling out of jams all game long, so no score in the 6th.
Well, 17 outs and only 79 pitches, even though he really struggled in the 4th and the 5th. But he has made some big pitches. I mean, they strike him out, throw him out to ABREU. He was awfully good.
PA, a long run, won't get there. It's a foul ball. He's trying to make it back-to-back wins as a starter, which has been a difficult task for Orioles starters on the year. The only pitchers on the staff to have done that are Arrieta and Britton. Arrieta did it twice, April 29th and May 4th, and June 4th and June 10th. And Britton did it twice, including winning 3 straight starts, April 20th, 26th, and May 1st. Another foul ball sliced the other way, and PA watches it go back in the crowd. So first pitch strikes, 12 out of 16 for Santana, 16 out of 24 for Simone. But he is trying to make it back-to-back wins as a starter, having won last Saturday against the Indians.
And again, not a lot of first pitch strikes, but in 4 of the 6 innings, he has been able to retire the leadoff hitter, and that gives you a license to maybe get a little bit of trouble and still get outs.
0-2 on AYBAR.
We saw that on Wednesday afternoon when Andrew Miller walked the bases loaded, but he got the first batter out and then ended up throwing a double play ball. Orioles did not score.
Simone deals the 0-2 and a ground ball to second. Blake Davis is there. He plays it cleanly in a 3-up, 3-down inning for Simone, just his second of the game and his first since the first inning. Well, on it goes on a steamy summer night. Bottom of the 6th coming, no score. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE, built so you can rule the air. I don't know, Jim. That looks kind of inviting. What do you say we run over and hop in the harbor?
I don't think so. I'd rather go to, where do you live, Hartford County?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go to your pool.
I invited you yesterday, but you had another better offer.
Oh, well, it was after the fact. That was late in the afternoon.
Made spaghetti yesterday. I had a nice
smell it over the phone.
Yeah, it was good. And that's what you do on a day off. You know, you cook for people. P.A. Davis and Hardy in the 6th. All right, well, next time we'll plan it better, and I'll give you plenty of notice. So if you can
much appreciated.
If you can fit me in, around your peoples.
Felix P.A. came in 3 for 5, now 3 for 6, lifetime off of Santana. Well, again, don't have a hit yet. Of course, you can win games where you don't get a lot of hits. As we mentioned, the Angels did it yesterday. Only 2 hits, got out hit 8-2, but won 1-0. There's a good take right there. So here's your chance. Look for a fastball, make it be your pitch, and put a good swing on it.
PA's just 2 for 14 on the homestand. And a bouncer towards the middle, back of the bases. AYBAR goes quickly to get PA and 1 down. So 1 away in the Orioles 6. Time now for our AT&T Mobility Trivia Fact. Felix PA became the fourth player in Orioles history to hit for the cycle. That was on August 14th of 2009. Fact number 2. It happened against the Los Angeles Angels as PA went 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs in a 16-6 Orioles win.
Yeah, and he ended it here at Camden Yards, just sliding into third, and then did a fist pump. And Mike Scioscia, who manages the Angels, wasn't real happy with that.
Blake Davis fouls it off.
Even though I'd be pretty excited if
so would I.
For the cycle. Of course, the 16-6 score might have had something to do with it. It's kind of like hitting a home run when you're ahead 15-6 and then taking it 2 minutes to get around the bases. That will draw some people's ires, as it should.
Anytime you achieve something and you join a list that includes Cal and Brooksy, you can fist pump. Especially getting the hardest hit last. Blake Davis takes down an in 2 and 1. Blake flied out his first at bat. 8 fly ball outs in this game for Santana. And a bunt attempt foul. Callaspo won't reach it. 7 ground outs now.
Now pitch count now at 68. So again, when you have a no-hitter going into the 6th inning, even though it is a 0-0 game, you're consumed with winning. There's his pitching coach Mike Butcher looking on, and certainly the pitch count is, even though it's a hot night at 102, now ain't 98.
And a sweeper that will go foul.
But anytime you can be that efficient, it tells me that you can pitch into the 9th inning. So you never ever know what's going to happen here. You know, one of the reasons when you look at the lifetime numbers, and we hope Brian Roberts is getting better. I mean, he came in 11 for 29 with a couple of home runs. So when you look at Santana's lifetime number, under 500, yet 80 and 63 lifetime, but under 500 against the Orioles. There are some pretty pivotal players missing from the lineup.
The other amazing thing about ERVIN Santana on the year, and you mentioned how the Angels have struggled offensively. He's only had 1 win in his last 9 starts, and his ERA in those 9 games, 3.71. That's amazing. The 2-2 to Davis is a bouncer towards first and goes foul.
I mean, that's why I make the, the 13-4 record by Jared Weaver, who started the All-Star game for the American League, is so phenomenal. I mean, again, 1.81 ERA. We're almost getting into August. I want to get ahead of ourselves, but we're in late July, and he's having that kind of year.
2-2 is sliced to left field. Long run for Vernon Wells. He won't get it, and it falls in for a base hit. And there's the Orioles' first base hit of the game. It's a 1-out double for Blake Davis. So the Orioles getting something going here in the 6th. That was some at bat for Davis. And he went with the pitch and it fell in.
Yeah, I'm sure ERVIN Santana would have liked to have had that bunt base hit than a double. But again, they pitch you away. The good hitters, they hit it where it's pitched, and you can see him just slice it. And again, he stays on top of it enough to keep it fair. If the bat loops too much, that ball's going to slice foul, and as it turns out, there's your potential go-ahead run.
Our Jeep Exmo brought to you by the 2011 Jeep Compass. So the lineup over. Santana from the stretch for just the second time in this game. Luke Scott reached on a 2-out error in the second, so he faced Mark Reynolds from the stretch. And now with a runner at second base for the first time tonight, he calls his catcher out, Jeff Mathis. They need to change the signs. MAICER IZTURIS talking with Blake Davis out there at second base.
Well, you got your second best runner in scoring position hitter for the Orioles in J.J. Hardy.
And there's the breaking ball. And it's in there for a strike. The Orioles, since the break, 341 with runners in scoring position. Second best in the American League behind Oakland. Hardy's 0 for 2 tonight, now 0 for his last 9. Fastball's too tight.
So you can see sliders away and fastballs in. Nice take right there. I mean, there's a tendency to sometimes try to overachieve when it's a 0-0 ball game, but not you can do too much with a ball 94 miles per hour on your fist.
Chopper foul down the line for the Angels, fortunately so, because Trumbo got one of those in-between hops and it skipped past him.
What's amazing is that Mathis moves in. He missed his target by about 2.5 feet. And J.J. Hardy, he loves to hit the fastball so much that he chases it. I mean, watch Mathis. Look, he's way inside the ball, and he's a cutter down and away, and he still is able to make contact. I don't think he's going to get another fastball for a strike to hit unless they make a mistake.
Davis at second with 1 down. 1-2 on Hardy. And a high pop-up shallow right. TORII Hunter moves in on it. And he has it for the second out. Hardy retired for the second out here in the 6th inning. Fans, tune into the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report on Monday, 5:30 till 7 o'clock. Join Tom Davis, Dave Johnson, Phil Wood, and Mel Antonin. They'll discuss all the hot topics from around the world of baseball. You get the live look-ins from batting practice and much more. So check it out 5:30 on Mass in the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report. Markakis will bat now with 2 men down. And Mathis is leaving the field. I think he has an equipment malfunction. He's got to go back and look like a mask. Something may have happened to. So he's in the tunnel where his gear is. And he's got the backup mask, so he's ready to go. There's a little hallway right at the bottom of those steps there before you make the turn to go up to the clubhouse, and just beyond those doors, and that's where the catchers leave their equipment bags. So in case they need something else, it's right there and ready for them. So here's Markakis. Davis at second with 2 men down. And an all-speed pitch down and in as Mathis loses the ball, but it stays right there.
Boy, this is a tough call for Mike Scioscia and his battery, Santana and Mathis. I mean, Markakis, I mean, he wears out Santana. I mean, terrific numbers other than tonight. He's 10 for 27 with 3 home runs, and then Jones with no home runs, less at bats, but hitting well over 350. So who do you pitch to? Carefully to either one of them.
And there's a strike. Markakis takes 1-1. Nick has grounded out and flied out. He's now 0 for his last 9. 11 RBIs in the month of July for Markakis. Davis edging his lead off second with 2 down. And it's low, ball 2.
Well, the Red Sox tried to throw the fastball right by Nick, and they were able to do it because they were able to stay on the inside part of the plate. One pitch that Santana came up with about his 3rd year was a changeup. We haven't seen many of those tonight. He hasn't needed it.
Foul off the foot. Santana has struck out 1. He has not walked a batter. Davis, the only hit he's allowed, a double with 1 down. Blake at second with 2 men down. Santana, a long look for a sign. Now he's ready. And then he steps off, so he's not ready. He in there, so he stepped off, and he'll get another sign from Mathis. Orioles trying to get Davis in to get the lead. There's a bouncer towards the hole. AYBAR, a long throw across, and he got him. Oh, a good strong arm from Eric AYBAR. So the Orioles get a 1-out double from Davis. He's left stranded. We'll head to the 7th at Oriole Park. Still no score.
Pick up by Blake Davis, bounce throw. Outs are at a premium tonight. And there's Derek Lee with good defense. Right here, strikeout, throw him out. Best throwing catcher in the American League. Nice tag by Hardy. And then Orioles bidding for their first base hit there. TORII Hunter robbing Derek Lee of a double. So Santana maybe a little bit better as far as hits, but score even. And again, both of these guys on their game tonight.
So the 7th inning, lower 3rd for the Angels. Here's Mark Trumbo, who has homered 5 times in the past 12 games. Trout and Mathis will follow. Breaking ball stays inside, 2-0. There's been no bullpen activity for either team all night long. Of course, the way Santana's going, you can understand that. He's only allowed 1 hit. Hard hit ball. Oh, glove by Reynolds. He gets up, thinks about it, throws. He got him.
Now, that's a good call, Jim, because when he gets up, what they've been working on, Willie Randolph, the infield coach, also third base coach for the Orioles, terrific infielder in his own right. But number one, you get to it. We've seen this many times. But again, okay, crow hop. Get the hands together. Get some kind of rhythm going. Get your feet underneath you. This is the perfect way. You know you have plenty of time. All I need to do, make an accurate throw, and he does.
Mike Trout takes too tight, 1-0. There's Willie on the bench with Jim Presley. So Mark Reynolds listening to the teacher. Hard hit ball, base hit, left center field. Adam Jones trying to get over there to cut it off. He'll get to it, but not before Trout, who can fly, gets to second base. So Trout has a 2-for-3 night, and he's at second with one down.
Now, Peter Borjos, the regular center fielder, coming back tomorrow night, and I asked Mike Scioscia, well, what's going to happen to Mike Trout? He said, well, we will see. But again, right here, inside fastball, again, 90. So what is 90? He's been 94, 95 all night long. He's all over it. You can see Adam Jones trying to hold him to a single, but that's not going to happen. The most important thing, with one out, he didn't get to third base.
Yeah, the way the Orioles were playing Trout to hit it the opposite way, Adam did a real good job of keeping that to a double. So one down. Here's Jeff Mathis, the number 9 batter.
So I think we may see finally a little action in the Oriole bullpen because of the heat. Pretty much the pitch count under control at 88 now. So people are scurrying around, but nobody up yet. Oh, here we go. Yep, there we go. Jason Birkin on a very hot night here in Baltimore.
1-0 on Mathis.
Oh,
nearly hit him. I'm not sure how it didn't hit him.
Yeah, normally if you could anticipate this, it's going to be a under 80-mile-per-hour curveball. You take it on the shoulder, just turn it in, but your inclination is to get out of the way, and he does. If you're ever going to take one for the club, it wants to be on that type of pitch.
Jared Weaver got a kick out of that. There's Dan Herron with him. They both have that Southern California look going.
Well, that is where from Jared Weaver.
Ground ball to shortstop, will not be able to advance the runner as Hardy, sure-handed as always, gets it to first and 2 down.
Boy, what an accurate arm he has. And again, until you get to see J.J. Hardy or even Eric Aybar, I mean, it's amazing. You know, Aybar maybe a little bit more quickness, but J.J. Hardy just gets to the ball and makes the play.
So 2 down now.
And here, what you want to do, if you can't catch it, knock it down.
Breaking balls high, 1-0. MAICER IZTURIS is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and flied out.
You can see Alfredo just trying to gather his thoughts. And Rick Adair, the Oriole pitching coach, says rhythm is such an important part of pitching. So what happens when you get a little bit tired? You don't want to change your rhythm, but you got to stay over the pitching rubber where you get the push off of and still be able to throw downhill. And how do you do that? You have rhythm, but you also have to change your timing a little bit. It's natural maybe to have a little bit of fatigue. But again, if you haven't been in these situations very often, it's a little more difficult.
This is inside for a 3-0 count.
So you can see the arm angle really dropping under everything. But of course that happened in the 5th, and he was able to pitch a pretty effective 6th inning.
The Angels' best chance in this game was the 4th when Simone committed an error on what would have been a double play ball, but he got the next 2 hitters. Here's a pitch taken all the way, 3-1. Michael Gonzalez has joined Jason Birkin in the Oriole 10. 5th 3-ball count for Simone tonight as he's 3-1 in IZTURIS with Trout at second in this scoreless game. Ground ball, base hit down the line, and the Angels will get the lead. IZTURIS rounding first, heading to second as Trout comes in, and MARKAKIS plays it back in. So a big 2-out base hit for MAICER IZTURIS has given the Angels a 1-0 edge.
Yeah, he doubled. He got one of the 2 hits yesterday, but again, you know, slumping. Again, 7 for his last 53. But the count has a lot to do with a lot of stuff. 3-1. He's looking fastball right down the middle. And again, you're playing percentage baseball. And Derek Lee can't get it. And there's Trout. So a couple of doubles. So Simone's going to leave, but he pitched a heck of a game tonight.
He goes 6 2/3. He exits on the short end of a 1-0 game. And Jason Birkin will come on to try to get the final out in the 7th. There is MAICER.
But you know that there's a good chance with ABREU coming up, and they're not going to pinch hit for him.
Mound, and as Jim theorized, there goes Jason Birkin. Michael Gonzalez will come on to face Bobby Abreu in the 7th. It is out of here!
Get your tickets in advance and save. Call 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com.
That's my Bob.
To try to get the final out here in the 7th. 3 doubles in the inning, and the Angels have put 2 on the board for a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, so you try to match up. Michael came in on a Monday night. Birkin gave up the tying run to make it 7-7 against the Red Sox. Michael pitched 1 inning scoreless and then got in trouble. They would end up getting 3 runs, an inning and 3 earned runs. So again, this is your matchup. Numbers good. Lefty versus lefty. 16 for 69, so lefty's only hitting 232. Righty's a little bit different number at 357, and nobody up behind Michael Gonzalez in the bullpen. So this is a huge batter.
Yeah, the Angels got the add-on run, so it's a 2-0 lead with TORII Hunter at second base and 2 down. The Angels have now out-hit the Orioles 7-1. And Abreu takes ball 1, again taking the first pitch. Gonzalez in his 5th game on the homestand.
And Abreu 2 for 3 lifetime. Not a lot of at-bats.
Misses outside, ball 2. He pitched in 3 of the 4 games against the Indians, and then the game Jim talked about on Monday against Boston.
And again, Abreu, what we mentioned, only 3 home runs. I mean, not a whole lot of difference. 276 coming in against righties, 262 against lefties. Hangs in there against everybody.
Hunter's 47th RBI of the year has given the Angels a 2-0 lead. Both RBI doubles coming with 2 outs in the inning.
And a little slide step, kind of quick pitched him, didn't work.
3-1 on Bobby Abreu, who was 0 for 3 on the night with a couple of strikeouts.
You know, almost it appeared that he balked. You have to have what they call a discernible stop. He didn't really stop.
There's a bouncer towards second. Davis charges to play the hop, and he'll get it to first, and the inning ends. But the Angels strike for a couple of RBI doubles. Jack Daniels' 7th inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniels Tennessee Honey. Fly straight, drink responsibly.
Southwest.
Against the Angels with Brad Bergeson on the mound against Joel Pinheiro. Our coverage on Mass begins at 6:30 with those extra, presented by Verizon 4G LTE. Then game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on Massa. You know, the Angels strike for 2 in the top of the 7th, a 3 double inning. Orioles now trailing 2-0 as we welcome you back to our broadcast booth. And amazing, the Orioles have 1 hit in this game, but in the 7th inning, they're very much in the game because it's only a 2-0 score.
Well, the scoreboard tells you 2-0, you're in the game, but the Angels are playing this game exactly the way the Angels play baseball. They're going to outpitch you, and they're going to try to get key hits, and tonight that's really been the story of this game. And, you know, Santana's been marvelous. Gave up the double to Davis. And then, of course, as he get into the 7th inning, you got Scott Downs, and then you got a rookie that throws 100 miles per hour, and that's Jordan Walden come in to save ball game. So, again, this game is far from over, Jim, but you know this is going exactly the way the Angels like to play baseball.
Yeah, it's difficult to mount any kind of a threat when you look at your scorecard, and in 6 innings, the Orioles have had 2 base runners and 1 reach on an error. That's
right.
it. That's all they
got.
Well,
you know, Santana's just been marvelous, and I think one of our kind of keys to the game was that if you look at his 4-8 record, that was not indicative of how well he's pitched. They don't get him a lot of runs. They haven't got him a lot of runs tonight, but the Orioles haven't been a whole lot of damage. They got shut out on Wednesday against the Red Sox. They need to get offensively minded in the last 3 innings. Yeah,
so the Angels with those clutch 2-out doubles, and ERVIN Santana now pitching with a lead. He has had a real efficient game, as he has worked from the stretch in this game to a total of only 3 batters. 1 batter in the 2nd, and then 2 batters in the 6th after the 1-out double by Blake Davis. So the Orioles 2 base runners. They've both been left stranded, and now Adam Jones will look to get something going here in the 7th inning. WIETERS on deck, then Derek Lee against ERVIN Santana.
Yeah, they've camouflaged their offense so far. That's got to change. Camouflage floppy hat night. Start flopping around the bases. Not literally, more of a figurative flop.
A figurative flop. And Adam fouls it off, a ball and a strike.
And again, you know, the way this game's going, I mean, ERVIN Santana's just been marvelous. He's getting all his pitches over. He's commanding. He's not getting behind anybody. But again, if you're Mike Scioscia on a very hot night, pitch count well in hand at 82, you need some encouragement to get your bullpen going. So maybe a hit, single, double.
Bouncer right back to Santana. Fields the position perfectly. Low throw to first, but he gets Jones for the 1st out. So one away here in the 7th inning. Well, gather up your group and enjoy Oriole Park's newest fan destination, the Miller Lite Flight Deck. For one low price, you'll enjoy a fun, casual atmosphere with bar-like seating and a great view of the game. Plus, everyone in the group receives a food and beverage voucher you can use anywhere in the ballpark. For more on the Miller Lite Flight Deck, call 888-848-BIRD or get online Orioles.com. And on Miller Lite Floppy Hat Night, the fans having a good time up there on the flight deck. Now, Wieters takes ball 1. Matt is 0 for 2, but you could pretty much say that about everybody in the Orioles lineup except Blake Davis.
Well, you contrast Ervin Santana to Andrew Miller, who pitched into the 6th inning for the Red Sox. One guy was effectively wild, and you can be wild in the strike zone and not walk people, but he was just he was walking people, but then he would make good pitches. You got the Craig Tatum double play in the 4th inning to get out of trouble, and then retired the next 11 or something like that. But tonight, this Santana's really never been in any trouble. He's been that good, not getting behind people, commanding all his pitches.
There's a slow roller past the mound as TORIS charges. Easy play for him with Wieters running and 2 men down.
Well, tough night for a catcher. Matt doesn't have a lot of speed, but he wasn't going down the line very quickly because it's one of those nights. Can you imagine catching, putting all that gear on, 102, 103 degrees? They hit in shorts today. And you're just wondering if he's healthy. I've never seen him, again, not run balls out. He might be cramping up a little bit.
Derek Lee batting, 2 outs and nobody on, and he takes high. Derek Lee is a .317 career hitter against the AL West. His best batting average against any division. And there's Wieters stretching the leg a little bit. So as Lee swings through it. And the heat appears to be getting the mat a bit. As Lee pops it up near the Oriole dugout, playable for Trumbo. And the first baseman has it, and Santana, after his team gets in the lead, has a 3-up, 3-down inning. We'll head to the 8th at Camden Yards. Angels with a 2-0 lead. How about Manny Machado settling in now in the Carolina League? In his last 10 games with Frederick, batting at .306, a home run and 8 RBIs, a very good on-base percentage and a very good slugging percentage, 8 walks as well. Of course, Manny Machado regarded as the shortstop of the future, and J.J. Hardy just signed a 3-year contract extension, so paving the way between the present and the future with Hardy and Machado.
And of course, J.J. the type of player that could play other positions. Could play third. Even though he's about as good a shortstop as I've seen in the American League this year with the bat and the glove. And again, I don't care how much money you give a young player, there's just no guarantees. And he's certainly going to get every opportunity to succeed or to fail. And then whether the glass is half empty or full. Well, this is a big inning for the Orioles because, again, Gonzalez doesn't match up well against right-handers. They're hitting over 370 against him. Need to get some outs, give the Orioles a chance to win.
Line drive. Hardy has it go off the glove, picks it up and throws across, and not in time to get Vernon Wells. He leaped and it just didn't stick in the glove.
Yeah, he crushes a changeup. One thing about Michael Gonzalez is the pitch he used early on, and again, how do you time a jump? I mean, he about went as high as you can, makes it close. So once again, I mean, right off the webbing of the glove, and then gives you an idea of kind of quickness and coordination he has. Nice play by Lee to keep the ball in front of him.
So Vernon Wells has a 2-hit night.
And you know Mike Scioscia wants more runs.
Callaspo is going to swing away. He does not have a sacrifice on the year. Even though the Angels as a team now have 30.
He has all his home runs as a left-handed hitter, but hitting .333 from this side of the plate.
Swings late at that pitch and 1-1.
He did a Clay Dalrymple. When Clay used to catch, he used to have to every once in a while, if Terry Crowley wasn't doing it, hit against Goose Gossage. Gossage would wind up, throw him a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. He'd swing when it was in the glove and then look to the opposite field. Like he was trying to do that. Alberto gave a look into down the right field line after he swung late at that fastball.
High fly ball to left. PA goes back a step or two now. And he has it for the out. Vernon Wells bluff going to second base to draw a throw. He's back to first with one down. Time for you to text in your vote for the AT&T player of the game. How about MAICER IZTURIS, whose RBI double broke the scoreless tie? Or ERVIN Santana, 7 scoreless innings? Or ALFREDO Simona pitched very well, 6 2/3, just 2 runs. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard, A, B, or C, to 51862. And here's Eric Aybar, the shortstop. He is 1 out of 3. Switch hitter batting right. You know, the strategy of baseball is so fascinating because you mentioned how, you know, Mike Scioscia would love to get that third run. It makes it that much harder for the Orioles to come back. But the guy that gets the hit is followed by a guy in the lineup that he rarely, if ever, asked to bunt. Now, if it was this batter up, or Aybar, who does bunt, you know he would have put down on the sacrifice. Yeah. But it's just the strategy's taken away simply because of which player comes up in that spot.
Well, how many times have we seen the Orioles with runners in first, second, either Guerrero, Lee, or Reynolds come up this year, and they just don't advance runners because that's not the type of hitters they are unless they get hits.
Right.
So again, when you're hitting, you know, in the 270 to 230 to 220 range, you're just not getting the as high a percentage.
High fly ball to left. This one carries near the corner. It will not reach the warning track. Vernon Wells tagging, going towards second base, and he is safe. As Davis took the throw on the other side of the bag and then had a sweep around. So good base running there by Vernon Wells, challenging PA, and he beat it.
Well, he tagged up on both of the plays. This time the ball's a little bit deeper. I mean, you really have to, if you're Felix PA, really come in and make a perfect, accurate throw. So heads up play. And the other part of this equation is that the play is in front of you. So again, if you're Vernon Wells, you're a veteran, you know which side of the bag to slide to.
So Gonzalez will leave and Mark Worrell will come on with 2 down and a runner at second in a 2-0 game.
Pure speed, up to 180 miles per hour. Get ready, Baltimore. The inaugural
Presented by authority of the Orioles, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. On a hot summer's night, here's Mark Worrell to come on. Inherits a runner at second with 2 down.
Yeah, he was awfully good on Wednesday. Mark Hendrickson came in. The Orioles were down 2-0. They would score a couple of runs of a mark, but he would come in with the bases loaded and strand all 3. That was his second appearance. The first one was on Monday, where he would come in and Pedroia would hit with the bases loaded again. So he's had a couple of tough situations, and he would double off the right field wall on a 3-2 low and away fastball. But again, very funky windup and very effective because the ball does sink, and he showed us a good breaking ball on Wednesday.
So Trumbo will try to get that run in from second base. Vernon Wells aggressively tagging, and there was a fastball that misses, 1-0.
Well, Amber Theo Harris did an interview with him and was on the pregame show. I said, well, where did you come up with that windup? He said, well, it allows me to sink the ball. It's deceptive, and it's allowed me to have some success. But again, a very unorthodox. I mean, he's going to go left, keep the front hip square, and then sink the ball. And there it is, a good sinker.
And Vernon Wells took off as Worrell didn't pay close enough attention to him, so base gets him to third.
Angel baseball. Tag up, steal bases, one presented. We run like demons. They hit doubles like demons in the 7th. How can you run the bases like demons and be halos?
It is a contrast.
It doesn't work.
I'm sure Mike Sosha chose his description very carefully. One and 2 on Trumbo. And he got him. There's that breaking ball. So Worrell very effective. And the Angels will strand Vernon Wells at third. Bottom of the 8th coming up at Camden Yards. The Birds trail by 2. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the Living Classrooms Foundation. To date, the Orioles have drawn 282 walks for a total of $14,100. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Well, the Orioles need base runners, down by 2.
And you're wondering if Luke Scott's going to, we've seen him poke a ball down the left field line. That's what the Orioles certainly need. There's Santana doing exactly what he's done all night long. When he uses his breaking ball, he gets it over. Again, you cannot predict what he's going to throw. He's been that good tonight. And he's mixed them up, and he's thrown strikes, and he's had great velocity.
Goes high, 1-1 the count. Ever since that game that Luke laid down 2 bunts, you have not seen the overshift against him as much. So just the threat that he'll do it. Both he and Matt WIETERS practiced that just about every day during BP, as they were shifting on Matt a little bit as well. Good take there, 2-1.
Well, all you need is one base runner, and the Oriole bullpen has done a nice job of that. Gonzalez and Worrell comes in, and you want to put as much pressure on the Angels as you can. Nobody up throwing. In the pitch count at 92, so well in hand.
High fly ball to center field. Chasing back Trout on the warning track. He's got to play, and he's got it. So Luke hits to the ballpark, and it stays in 4 and out. Well, our Hankook Tires game flow sponsored by Hankook Tires. Be one with it, Hankook Tires. And the game flow of this game continues to be the job of ERVIN Santana, who has flowed all the way to the 8th inning without allowing a run. Only 2 base runners all night. A double by Blake Davis, and Luke Scott to reach on an error in the 2nd.
Well, we told you about the Angels coming in, and he just missed that pitch.
Now, is he shaking his head there because
I think
it hurts, or I just missed it?
I missed it. Good pitch to hit, 2-1. Had a good swing. Can't hit them all. If you did, you'd be Babe Ruth. You'd be Babe Scott instead of Luke. But again, what Mike Scioscia said after 21 runs in their first 7 games, he said, we have offensively cement shoes. Well, that's what the Orioles have had over the last, 16 and a third innings. Haven't scored a run. Big uppercut swing there.
Since the 8th inning of the game they won against the Red Sox on Tuesday, when they made a 3-2 lead, a 6-2 lead with a 3-run 8th.
Well, it's no big deal other than you did get shut out, and you did compete on Wednesday. Then you had an off day. Good pitching, stops, good hitting. And the Orioles had been, scored 30 runs in the last, 3 or 4 games. I mean, they were really on an offensive roll, hitting home runs. Certainly capable of doing that if you get anybody on.
Reynolds takes low. Yeah, the 4 games against the Indians was interesting because they scored 4 in the first game, 5 in the second game, 6 in the third game, and then 8 in the fourth game, and then lost to the Red Sox by losing 15-10.
But then came back and scored 6 in the next game where Guthrie was able to win.
2-2 on Reynolds. Ball 3. Still mid-90s for Santana here in the 8th inning on this scorching hot night. This will be the 100th pitch. And it's high ball 4, and there's his first walk. It's only the 2nd time all night he's gotten the 3 balls on a batter, and he loses Mark Reynolds. Fans, you can entertain clients, colleagues, and more with a custom suite package right here at Oriole Park. Private suites are available, a variety of locations and packages, and offer your company a sophisticated, affordable way to make a statement. To find out more, visit Orioles.com/suites or arrange a private tour by calling 410-547-6076.
Yeah, he's already made the phone call, and they're scurrying around in the Angel bullpen. So you go, one swing away from tying it up. 3-2 breaking ball, and you're probably sitting at home, or maybe if you're a really astute baseball fan, you go, well, 2-run lead, you're going to throw him a breaking ball with a 2-run lead. Well, he's been getting it over all night long, and probably the appropriate pitch, but he just didn't execute it. Threw it out of the strike zone.
1-0 on PA, who's 0 for 2. And he fouls it straight back. Isunori Takahashi is now getting loose, one of 3 left-handers in Mike Scioscia's bullpen. Real balance out there with 3 lefties and 4 righties.
Now the guy, they're usually the go-to guy, but he pitched yesterday, is Scott Downs. When he was healthy, he was about as good as any lefty in the bullpen.
Orioles saw a lot of him when he was with the Jays. Ground ball towards third, knocked down by Callaspo. He saved an extra base hit. But the Orioles have 2 on the infield hit by PA.
Well, that's exactly what he did. He knew he could not catch this ball. And, usually you talk about 2 outs. Can you keep a ball in front of you with a runner at second? Well, this is, can I keep the ball from going down the corner for a double? So nice at bat by Felix PA. He hit the ball where it was pitched. You know, a lot of times you don't subjugate your ego. You try to hit home runs. But, again, that's just a good, solid at-bat by Felix, who, again, came in 3 for 5 lifetime against Santana.
If you're Felix PA with his speed, you should be thinking to slap the ball all over the ballpark, because he could get a lot of base hits with his legs.
Well, he'd just like to play more. And, again, if you hit, then usually you get to play more.
And Buck reminds the media of that all the time, because players do go in and talk to him. And he says, well, the usual line is, well, Skip, you know, if I played more, I'd hit. And he says, well, if you'd hit, I'd play you more. He reminds him of that all the time. It really is a simple process. Here's Blake Davis, 2 on and 1 out. Line drive to center field. Trout is there, and he makes the catch. And PA back to first. Davis hit it hard, but right at Trout.
You don't think that Mike Scioscia doesn't notice that that ball was right on the screws. He was playing him to left center where he hit the double. And then, of course, the ball knuckled a little bit. And, again, this kid's got such incredible speed. He got to it very easily. But, again, that could have easily been a double up the gap. So maybe Blake Davis a little bit farther out in front. And all of a sudden the Orioles could have at least had a run on the board, maybe 2.
Jim, Vernon Wells ran all the way almost to center field to say something to Trout about where the Angels want him playing for J.J. Hardy.
Well, you know, a lot of times you may start playing a hitter a certain place. There's Dino Ebel. He's telling them defensively where they need to be, but you can change, and also they all go back. They're about 3-4 steps deeper. They don't want a ball hit over their head with 2 outs and a 2-run lead.
And a base hit to center field. J.J. Hardy comes through. Here's Reynolds coming to the plate. He will score, and it's a 1-run game as Hardy goes through the box to get the Orioles on the board.
Well, Santana's cooked. And Hardy's doing the cooking. Finally gets a good pitch to hit. Nobody playing there. I mean, fastball 95, so good velocity, bad location, and J.J. all over it for the Orioles' first run.
So a 2-out base hit for the Orioles. The Angels' RBI hits came with 2 men down. Santana will leave, and we'll get Takahashi to come on here, the left-hander, to face Markakis in the 8th. Pitched into the 8th. He goes to 7 2/3. Only 3 base hits, but 2 have come in this inning. It's also come in an inning which he allowed his only walk, and that walk Reynolds has scored. So here is Takahashi to face Markakis.
Yeah, left-handed specialist, and you know, he came in the other night in a Texas game, got out of trouble. They would eventually trail 8-3. You throw a line drive to Yorbit to TORII that Wells would lose in the lights, but a very good changeup. Gets right-handers out better than lefties. But again, they bring him in to match up against Nick Markakis, who last year led all of Major League hitters with batting average against left-handers. So again, they got a pretty good idea of what he throws, but again, that changeup so effective to right-handers.
There's PA at second base, the potential tying run, and then Hardy, the trail runner, the potential go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 8th. The Orioles would love to get that lead here and be 3 outs away from a win.
Well, Greg was up, loosening up. He's probably going to come in anyway with a suspension just to get some work. He would like to make it a save situation. So again, now they don't play quite as deep because that 2-run lead is only 1 run. Totally different offensive or defensive alignment. Takahashi last year playing after coming over from the Yomiuri Giants, playing with the Mets as a starter and a reliever.
And the Mets released him after the season, which is how he got to Anaheim.
But he throws like 89 to 91. You know, and again, he knows how to pitch. He's got a little breaking ball, real good changeup. See if he throws it to lefties. And there's the breaking ball, and it's a good one. Got that little hesitation. And all that does is allow you to get over the rubber and get everything together and then explode to home plate.
Well, it's a battle of 21s here. Takahashi wearing number 21, Markakis wearing number 21. 2 on and 2 out in a 2-1 game. And the breaking ball inside.
Well, again, pretty conventional, but right there's well, he didn't do a hesitation there. A lot of times he'll just have a little hesitation to get everything together, and of course, if he doesn't do it every pitch, then it changes the timing mechanism, not only for him but also the hitter.
Good cut, he fouled it back.
And you tried, if you're pitching, you try to read that swing. In other words, when you're out on the mound, especially if you're a veteran pitcher like Izanori, I mean, what you do is to see where the bat head was. And Nick had a pretty good swing at that.
Markakis is 0 for 3 on the night and 0 for his last 10 in the last 3 games.
Jim, they give him right center field because they don't expect he's going to pull the ball.
One and 2 on Markakis with 2 on and 2 out. And it's outside, 2 and 2. Yeah, you know Markakis is a real good opposite field hitter, but this is as much as any team has overshifted on him. I mean, I guess it could be the tendencies too that Takahashi's going to work him away. PA at second, Hardy at first with 2 down. And we'll look back to second to see if PA might be a little anxious. Neither AYBAR or IZTURIS broke behind PA, so he easily got back to the base. AYBAR's kind of dancing behind him, but then goes back to his position. 2 and 2 on Markakis. High foul, deep down the right side, but well out of play.
Yeah, but you could see the intentions of Nick Markakis. One of the easiest breaking balls to hit is the one at you, because that's the one that's usually going to hang on the inside of the plate. And when he sees that, he attacks it. Watch him hang this one. Boom. He's thinking double home run, but he couldn't keep it fair. Doesn't mean you don't throw another one. It's just you don't put it on the inside part of the plate. Because if you do, Orioles may have the lead.
Another 2-2 to Markakis. And he fouled it back.
You can see not a hard thrower. It's again deception, timing. 86-88. If Mathis comes out, what do we want to do? Yeah, if you want to catch for Mike Scioscia, you better be on the same page with him and your pitcher. And as we mentioned, Hank Conger, a switch hitting catcher, started out the year. Bobby Wilson has since been called up. Conger now getting playing time every day at AAA. Maybe eventually the full-time catcher, but.
Well, Mike Napoli found that out.
Yep. Well, yeah, and he was a great offensive player for the Angels. He just just wasn't as good a catch and throw guy as either Wilson or especially Mathis.
2-2 on Markakis. Takahashi trying to get out of this jam. And another foul ball. Already 7 pitches in this at-bat to Markakis. It was down 1-2 after 3 pitches. Rich Thompson in the bullpen.
He gets Adam Jones. At least the Orioles hope he gets Adam Jones, and they hope he does it in the 8th inning. Well, terrific game tonight. Coming down to who can get the big hit, who can make the big pitch.
And it's low, ball 3.
A little
what an at bat.
Well, 2-2 changeup. So now everybody runs.
Yep.
Well, once he delivers the ball.
You got to be careful with him.
Well, ever since I saw Don Buford look up at the scoreboard with the bases loaded on second base, and he saw 3-2, but it was Bobby Gritch's number, and it was a 2-2 count. He got such a great jump that there were 2 Orioles at third base.
PA and Hardy will be off with the pitch. 3-2 with 2 men down here in the 8th inning. Takahashi deals, and a slow roller towards the mound. Takahashi has it. The underhand toss to first. Markakis retired, and the inning ends. Orioles get 1, but strand 2. We're heading to the 9th in a 2-1 game.
Southwest.
Orioles Baseball on MASN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines do rapid rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. And by Land Rover. And an overhead view of downtown as we head to the 9th in this pitcher's duel in a 2-1 game. Kevin Gregg, Jim, comes on to work here in the 9th.
Yeah, the suspension last pitched against Cleveland, so he's coming in to get some work, keep the game exactly where it is. And again, in that game, he came in a save situation. Gonzalez had to bail him out, as the Orioles would hold on in a 6-2 game to win that one 6-5. So Trout with a couple of hits today, the double, a big one.
1-1 the count on Mike Trout. Kevin Gregg first pitched in the big leagues as a member of the Angels. That was back in 2003. He actually signed with Oakland first, but he couldn't get out of the minors with Oakland.
Didn't he start some games with the Angels?
Yes, he did. He started 5. Make that 8. And then 3 in 06. There's a cue ball to first, and Derek Lee boots it. So Trout is on leading off in the 9th inning as the Angels look for an insurance run.
Yeah, a lot of spin play he usually makes. So the Angels now have speed on the bases.
Oh, that's a huge play.
Well, you know they're going to bunt here. Well, you don't know that, but you assume that. No, let me rephrase that. You don't know, you don't assume. There's certainly a good chance that they bunt.
Jeff Mathis has 6 sacrifice bunts on the year coming in, plus 1 tonight. So 7.
So take the out and get on with business. They want to give it to you.
So instead of 1 out and none on, now you have all the strategy going the Angels' way here. Greg will bear down and try to get Mathis. Lineup turns over after Mathis, who squares the bunt, gets it down. Lee gloves. He thinks about second, but instead goes to first. He might have had a play if he didn't hesitate, but when he looked, he felt the play wasn't there, so he took the sure out.
Well, again, speed has a lot to do with when you make decisions. Now, if you're Derek Lee, you're a veteran, you know who's on base. You may not know he runs to first base in 3.82 seconds, which is the fastest in the big leagues. But again, he's anticipating if I have a chance. But again, you need to get it out here. It's only 1 run. You have a chance, three more at bats to tie this game up or win it.
TORII now. And the breaking ball. Tonight's Cold Hard Blast brought to you by Frost Food Coors Light. Let's go to the 7th. Runner at second and 2 down. And as TORII pulls it down the line, that blast got the run in, and it got the Angels in front.
Yeah, he really worked the count in his favor, 3-1, and they just got a fastball in the middle of the plate. Simone had been able to stay out of the middle of the plate, but did appear to get tired of the 7th.
Fastball misses somewhere. It looked like a good pitch.
Well, it has been called. I will say that Angel Hernandez has had a pretty consistent, with a couple of exceptions, game. And then again, on a hot night, you can miss a couple.
And ball 4.
See, that ball probably is off the plate. I mean, a good fastball with great finish. Buck Showalter is, was it away? You always want to know. I mean, if you're a manager, you want to know. If you're pitching, you want to know, because, okay, if it's away, is it low? Is it away? Let me know. I mean, a lot of umpires get irritated, but you do want to know where do I have to throw it to get a strike.
Yeah, it looked like both Greg and Showalter thought ball 3 and ball 4 were both strikes.
And they have been called on occasion tonight.
Here's Torrey Hunter, who had a big hit, which right now is the difference in the game. There's a strike in the outside corner. He had the 3rd double in that inning and the 2nd consecutive RBI double in the 7th.
Well, 3-1 count, 2-0 count. They really got some good hitters counts and took advantage of them, and that's the 2 runs they scored.
And there's a strike in the inside corner.
Well, that's how Kevin Gregg operates. I'm not giving in. I'm going to pitch to the periphery of the plate. A little black line around it. They call it the black. Why give in unless you make a mistake?
Just misses inside.
So he moves his feet. He made a very good point from when they had the throwing contest. Everybody throwing at each other up in Boston. He said, Dave hit 55. We hit 21. You got to pitch inside to get good hitters out.
Runners go. Pitch taken. Wieters throw to third. It's off the glove of Reynolds, but backed up by Hardy. So the double steal as Mike Scioscia puts it in motion.
Well, great speed on the bases, and I guess maybe he interfered, and Mike Scioscia not wondering what's going on here. Well, if he interfered, then, or maybe they called that a strike. There was a pitch on the inside corner, and again, you have to understand, Wieters is coming up right in front of Angel Hernandez, and he can't believe that was called strike 3. So obviously the strategy was, hopefully it wasn't going to be a strikeout. You'd get your runners in and you still only have one out.
So now 2 in scoring position, but 2 men down. And here's Bobby Abreu, who's had a tough night. Whoa. Abreu has struck out twice. He has grounded out. He has flied out. Ball 2 went back to the same spot.
Well, that ball's off the plate, but the one before, I think, had the corner. And they're going to walk him.
First base is open, so the intentional walk to Abreu to get a righty-righty matchup. There's Vernon Wells on deck.
So your extra out on the air will. Rodney just coming off the DL, has missed like 58 games. Walden with his 23rd save, so if the score remains the same, or maybe even if they add a run or two, you'll probably see Fernando Rodney.
Well, the Angels are trying to take advantage of that error that began this inning. Mike Trout reached on that error. He's at third. IZTURIS is at second. Abreu is at first, and Kevin Gregg going to work on Vernon Wells. And he gets it by him. So Vernon Wells looking for the fastball, swings through it.
Well, the amazing thing about Kevin Gregg is, well, he can get it up there. I mean, that was 94, and he can turn it over. Throws everything with 4 seams, even though it gets good movement with it. You can cut it.
High fly ball to center field. On the run is Adam Jones, way out there, and that ball is gone. It is a grand slam for Vernon Wells to break it open. And the Angels now have a 6-1 lead in the 9th. A huge blow by Vernon Wells.
They just go up the ladder, and he's always been a great high ball hitter. But again, this pitch at 90, the other one at 94. And as we have said over the last month to 5 weeks, ball flying here. Off the bat, you're thinking maybe it'll stay in the ballpark. It doesn't.
They'll all be unearned, but they don't hurt any less.
No, that's a great point, because obviously sometimes you can't control what happens. But again, Wells got the best of Kevin Gregg.
Here's Jakubowskis now getting loose.
21 pitches right here, and if you're Buck Showalter, I mean, the damage has been done. You don't want your closer, and again, hasn't pitched in about 5 days. You don't want him being burned out here in the first game of a 3-game series.
And had a fly ball to center field, playable for Jones. So Callaspo is retired to end it, but a huge blow. Vernon Wells with a grand slam, and the Angels lead it 6-1.
Whoa, 10-2, buddy. Tries on the
Going into the ninth, but then Vernon Wells, the Orioles killer, hits a grand slam. Now we're heading into the bottom of the ninth with a 5-run lead for the Angels.
Well, Alfredo Simon gave him a pretty good ball game tonight. He left actually giving up 2 earned runs, but outside of that, the Orioles only 3 hits on the night again. Have to have a big ninth inning in order to make this one work.
The O's have 3 outs to work with. We'll be here for O's Extra after the game. Let's go back to Jim and Jim.
All right, Amber and Rick, thanks very much. So the Orioles now, their task a little more daunting as Kevin Gregg allows the 4 unearned runs, 2 walks in the inning scored, the error scored, and the only base hit scored, Vernon Wells in the grand slam. Well, let's get an update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game, and Alfredo Simon is getting that hometown vote, 82%. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard, A, B, or C to 51862, and Amber and Rick will have the results coming up on O's Extra postgame.
Simon gets the votes in Santana. He's probably going to get the win. And that'll be the only 5th time that he's won this year, even though his numbers belie how well he's pitched. So again, crucial hits, crucial pitches. Takahashi comes in, gets MARKAKIS out. I mean, a tough bat by Nick, fouled a bunch of pitches off, eventually got the grounder, and then they add the 4 runs. And that's what good pitching does. You just sooner or later, if you don't pitch as well, they come out on top.
And the Angels in this game, a team that had been struggling to score runs, has scored 6 2-out runs. And lead it now 6-1 in the ninth. Jones, Wieters, and Lee are due up. Takahashi stays on. And there's a strike taken by Adam.
And again, we think of the Angels as, of course, a team that you can take advantage of. But one thing they do well is pitch, and they have the 3rd best ERA, or actually the 2nd best ERA, and the Orioles have the worst. So they come in here going, you know what, we're not hitting well, but we're going to face a pitching staff that is really, for whatever the reason, injuries and so on, inexperience, has pitched worse than anybody other team. So let's take advantage of it. And at the end of the day, at least going into the ninth, it's 6-1. They get 6 runs, and the Orioles have 1.
Bounce towards third. Cayasco plays the hop and gets it across just in time to get the hustling Jones 1 away in the Oriole ninth. You can follow the Orioles with the MLB.com AtBat 2011 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get score, stats, highlights, live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, interactive maps of Oriole Park, and more. And you can even check in at Oriole home games for the chance to win prizes, including upgraded seats. Text AtBat to 31826 or visit Orioles.com for all the details. Wieters takes strike 1.
So now you're going to see the full complement of pitches from Hizunori Takahashi. You're going to see the hesitation. You're going to see the changeup. That's what Jones hit the 3rd base. There we go. Got it all going. Big curveballs.
And the Angels feel like they have broken out here with 6 runs. It's only the 2nd time in their last 9 games that Mike Scioscia's club has scored more than 4 runs. And they have 6.
Well, they went into the break winning 20 out of the last 27 to get back in the race. And the most they've been out was, 6 games back in June. There's a changeup and a good one. And Wheeler swings through it. And then after losing on Tuesday night, they were 5 back, and there's a changeup again. It came back from an 8-3 deficit with 6 runs in a 6th to win 1-1-0, and all of a sudden they crawled within 3 games of Texas, who had won 12 in a row. So don't you think the Angels figure, well, maybe the Rangers, maybe they played it well as they could, winning 12 in a row. Now we have a chance to start winning ball games.
Derek Lee looks over ball 1.
And Jim, that's the great thing about being in pennant races. When you're in a race, whether it's July or August or September, it's 25 guys trying to come to the ballpark and win a ball game. That's my big hope for the Orioles at some point. That'll happen again.
You saw Rick Adair with Kevin Gregg. Kevin Gregg gesturing out to the plate. So 1-2 on Derek Lee, representing the final hope for the Orioles. 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the ninth. Showalter and John Russell. And foul back on the netting. Derek Lee on a changeup. The Orioles go 3 up, 3 down in the ninth. And the Angels grab the opener of this weekend series. Vernon Wells' grand slam in the ninth. The decisive blow as the Angels win it by a final of 6-1. And we invite you to join us tomorrow. More O's action. Game 2 of the series against the Angels. Brad Bergeson will be on the mound against Joel Pinheiro. Coverage begins at 6:30 on MASN HD with O's Extra, presented by Verizon 4G LTE, and then game coverage at 7 o'clock. And now for Jim Palmer and our entire hardworking crew, Jim Hunter saying so long from Camden Yards. Once again, our final score, Angels win it 6-1. Tonight's telecast and MASN presentation, Amber and Rick are coming up, O's Extra, to break it down. Angels win it 6-1.